Jonathan Segal. STK is celebrating its 10-year brand anniversary. Can you talk about the strategy behind putting flavor into the staid old steakhouse?
When we started, we wanted to do something different. We wanted to change the paradigm of the steakhouse. You know, most steakhouses were about 80% men, 20% women. It was all huge portions, big red wines, and we just really wanted to see if we could change the paradigm. And we really did that through music and by more intimate design in what we did. You know, kind of making it slightly more female friendly.
And you've certainly spread it all over the world. Can you talk about your expansion plans? You're in Ibiza, you've been opening up restaurants this year, you're going to be opening in Toronto, Miami. Talk about your expansion and where you are right now, and then where you plan to go.
So, Greg, as you quite rightly pointed out, we just opened in Ibiza. We caught the end of the summer season there, which was good. Next week, we open in Toronto in Canada. So what's interesting in our expansion plans is our most two recent openings were in two completely different countries, which now puts us trading in 5 countries around the world. And then here back home, we're opening in Denver in the 4th quarter. We're opening in Austin and Dallas. And then in 2017, we're planned to open in Boston at the Seaport in a really exciting development.
Can you talk about the correlation between the steakhouse industry, even though you're a special kind of steakhouse, and Wall Street? Because it's been fairly flat on Wall Street in terms of volume and trading this summer. And if you look at the shares of financials, they are really lagging the index. They're down this year. How's this affecting your business?
We do tend to follow Wall Street, oddly enough. You know, if the market's doing well, if the economy's doing well, we'll do well. The steakhouse is really perceived as a slightly more expensive dining option. And therefore, we really rely on a buoyant economy to be successful. And, you know, we sometimes look at if the market's heavily down on a Friday or heavily down on a Saturday, it actually, oddly enough, can impact us. Fortunately, though, we're not just a steakhouse for the Wall Street market or for the business clientele. We're very much catering now to the local market and also to the tourist market, so it kind of balances it out for us.
Let's talk about your input costs. What about the price of meat, and are you seeing prices rise?
Our costs are fairly stable because we do a lot of forward buying. You know, the disadvantage of forward buying is if the prices come down substantially, then you'll kind of pay more than your competitors. The advantage for us is we ring fence our commodity cost. It really does work out well for us. We average 26 or even slightly less than 26% of food and liquor costs, which kind of gives us an industry leading metric. We're only able to do that because we're conservative on our forward buying, but we leave enough room so that we can take advantage of fluctuation.
And right now we're sitting in your meatpacking district
our
franchise right here in
where it all started.
In New York City, where it all started. You have some banquet rooms upstairs. Yeah. Talk about your holiday business. How will you know how well that's shaping up?
So let's just look historically over the last 3 months. Our banquet business has been soft, and I think it's really been consistent with the pressures that we're seeing in the economy today. Not just the pressures here in New York, but also nationally with all the things that are going on. Our Christmas bookings, we just kind of start recently, and I have to say I'm very encouraged by the early booking, so that's really good for us. It's been a challenge through the summer. It's been probably the hardest challenge that we've had in a while, but now we're coming out of summer, everything's kind of re-energizing, those bookings are definitely ticking up now. And this is an important part of our business. It's great revenue, and it's also a great opportunity for us to allow guests to experience STK that maybe came corporately, enjoy it, and maybe come back and join us for their own family dinners.
So when you go into a market like a Chicago or a Dallas, when they're more traditional steakhouses, how do the locals take to your cool kind of steakhouse? We're not just talking about the porterhouse, cream spinach, and the hash browns. You're serving DJs and a whole lot of fun as well.
So we don't actually see ourselves as a traditional steakhouse competitor. We kind of see ourselves as someone competing with the experience that is go to dinner and then go somewhere else for the late night, or go to a bar and then go somewhere else for dinner, whereas with us it's a one-stop shop.
So do you feel you sacrifice some of that Wall Street crowd for lunch because they may want the music a little bit lower when they're cutting deals?
So at lunch, in the cities that we open for lunch, we pay very low background music. We are as close as you'll get to a traditional steakhouse. It's an important part of our business, but it's not a big part of our business. But even in the evenings, you know, you don't just walk into an STK and the volume's at 10. You know, as the evening progresses, it's kind of background music, and as the evening goes on, the music slightly increases, the lights may dim a little bit, and then if you're still there by 9:30, 10 o'clock, you look around and see your party, and then you realize, my God, I am the party, because you've kind of moved up with the space as it's become more vibrant and more energy driven.
So by 10, you've turned it up to 11.
Wouldn't it? Well, we're at 11 by 11. 10
Thanks
we're
a
close
lot,
to 10.
Jonathan Segal.
Thanks a lot.